Improper mining techniques contribute to land degradation and groundwater pollution. Of course, consuming all of these fossil fuels lead to air quality concerns. From consumption of energy alone, Brazil emits 500.2 million metric tons of carbon dioxide every year. Carbon dioxide is a deadly greenhouse gas. The concern is that even rainforests, due to fragmentation from deforestation, are releasing a sizable amount of CO2, as well as the direct outputs from cars, industry, etc. Rainforests and trees in general are known to be carbon sinks, much like our oceans. So when they are cut down, the trees release the carbon that they have previously stored, which accelerates devastating impacts of our changing climate. Shale oil specifically has been a new frontier in Brazil, but there has been a lot of public backlash concerning the environmental risks of this practice. Deforestation due to the extraction of crude oil and shale of the Amazon basin endangers native flora and fauna through the direct habitat destruction and indirect habitat segmentation and degradation, illegal wildlife trade, severe oil spills, air and water pollution of the Rio de Janeiro. The social problems caused by oil extraction are largely unreported. In the western Amazon, 50 indigenous groups live within oil and gas hotspots that are under pre-production or exploration. Many of the indigenous groups are the world's last isolated indigenous people. There are a lot of oil reserves in Brazil that unfortunately will most likely be exploited, much to the expense of those who cannot afford or don't have the tools to speak out about it to stop it. This leads us to the politics of energy. It is somewhat unfortunate how big of a role politics plays in the energy production and consumption. The CIA reported that the nuclear power has become 3% of Brazil's overall energy use. There are always temptations and concerns about nuclear weapon production in countries who rely on nuclear power. Every year, Brazil consumes 3.5 million tons oil equivalent of nuclear power. In order to keep suspicions at bay, Brazil has signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty. In terms of oil and politics, corruption runs rampant. Petrobras, pictured earlier in the presentation, is involved in a hefty corruption scandal.